Do
All right.
that.
Well,
Neuter me.
let's speaking of clip. Let's hear Colin Cowherd speak about Michigan.
Michigan's the most overrated in the top 25. They lost not only depth, they lost like leaders. They lost like locker room leaders, fifth-year seniors. They also lost the best quarterback Harbaugh's had, who I watched him before he got hurt, meniscus tear, had a terrific debut. It's very difficult to lose not only quality starters, but veteran quality starters, like who were clubhouse leaders. I think Michigan will not be a top 20 team. Overrated.
He just slid that in there at the end. Pause. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
To his point, they did lose a lot of players, but they still have one of the best defenses in the nation. And I'm still confident in Alex Orji with some of the weapons they have on the offensive end that they'll be decent. I'm not saying they're going to be a top 5 team, but I still think they're in the top 20. They will have a top 3, in my opinion, probably top 2 defense in the nation. So
sounds like someone huffing on
a certain extent, I get his point.
Huffing on copium.
We had the most players drafted last year, so he's somewhat correct.
Oh, you were huffing on copium for a second. I was going to say.
No, we're still going to be a top 20 team. Colin Cowherd's a fucking douchebag anyway. So.
Unk just put a dip of Copenhagen in. That's what he just did.
Hey, top 20. Top 20 is aggressive. That's very aggressive.
They will be top 20.
This is what's going to happen.
This is
I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to tell you guys how it is. Who's the guy that does Brian Windhorst? I see it right now. Michigan lost a lot. What Gentry said, they lost a lot. You lost a lot, but you still have a lot. Now, you could argue Blake Corum, one of the best running backs in the country, lose him. Massive leader, gone. J.J. McCarthy,
gone.
Leader, Heisman candidate, gone, right? Your head coach, Jim Harbaugh, gone. One of the best coaches in all of football, not just college football, all of football. Now, I will say this. Michigan's not going to be the number 1 team in the country like they were last year. They're not going to be a top 5 team in the country like they were last year. I, as a Michigan fan, I'll be realistic and say there is going to be some type of growing pains. Things are going to happen, and they're going to struggle in some games, and you're going to be like, all right, people are going to say, oh, like there's going to be the losers out there that say, oh, it's because you're not cheating anymore. Oh, it's because you finally have this hard schedule. No, maybe it's because your head coach is gone, you lost your quarterback and your running back, and you got 50 guys drafted to the NFL. Like, yeah, that's probably it. So they're going to be top 20. What my projection in my mind, what it goes to with Michigan is they are going to have their growing pains. You do have, to Gentry's point, you have a top 5 defense in college football, most likely. You have the best defensive line in college football. So you are going to sit there and compete every day. Like those games versus Oregon and Ohio State and, Texas, you're going to be in those games strictly just because of your defense. That's it. Like, you're going to, like, now what does your offense do? That's going to depend if you end up actually winning those games. And they easily could go out there, and if that offense and Alex Orji doesn't take that step and they aren't what JJ and them were last year, they could easily lose those 3 games. And if you lose those 3 games, you're sitting on the outside looking into the college football playoffs. Like, if there's a Michigan fan here and that's in the chat wants to tell me that they're locking in Texas, Ohio State, and Oregon as all wins, you're lying, and you're just lying to yourself. It is going to be an absolute gauntlet of a schedule. And on top of that, you have a new head coach and you have a new roster that you're fighting with. So, like, it's going to be a gauntlet. Like, there is a chance that Michigan is sitting on the outside looking into the college football playoffs strictly because you are taking a different step this year. Now, that's where it's like, what do they do in those 3 games are their most important games. Like, if they win one of those 3 games and they went out, they're sitting there with 2 losses. They're in the college football playoffs, most likely. But you cannot lose more than 2 games. Like, you cannot. And then that's all it comes down to. Like, if week 2, and we're going to be in Ann Arbor, fellas. Spoiler alert, we're going to be doing an event in Ann Arbor, and we're going to be in Ann Arbor and versus Texas. If they lose, or if they beat Texas, I'm feeling pretty optimistic for the season. But if they lose versus Texas, then you're sitting there and you're going, you have to at least beat Oregon or Ohio State. And yeah, if there's Michigan people now, I'd love to know how you guys feel, but it is a tough schedule.
Hey, no need to fear Conor Stalions.
That's the biggest loss the Michigan Wolverine football program took this offseason. He's out of there. He's out of there.
Grin on his face.
I don't even know if that is
Like
that
he
him.
made it.
That's not him. That looks fake. That looks fake.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I actually.
But real quick, you guys get your laughs out. Whatever.
It was funny, dude.
You guys get your, hey, Conor Stalions, all time great.
Oh god!
Take him in the
They
Lord.
will not be outside the top 20 though. Like they will not. They will be a top 20 team. Now I'm not going to sit here and say it's a lock for a playoff spot because they are. Like I need to see what this team is first. Like with all these other teams that are in the top 12, like Oklahoma State returns a bunch. You know who they are. Utah, you know what Utah is, and Utah is probably going to win the Big 12. Like you know what Utah is. Like you
Put some
know what
respect
these
on
teams.
those Utes.
Oh, and by the way, too, quiet Heisman finalist.
Hey, Boone.
Cam Rising. I had him on my original list on my sticky note at my work. I had Cam Rising. I crossed him off and added
Didn't make
Travis
the cut.
Hunter. Yeah, I added Travis
Didn't
Hunter.
make the cut. Didn't have
But
the
no.
juice, Cam.
I don't know. I am in there is this year phase with Michigan. It's like you need to see what the Sharon Moore experiment and Alex Orji experiment looks like. You have to. Like if you're sitting here telling me they're a lock to make the playoffs, you're lying to yourselves and you're just saying. And I know there's Michigan fans out there that'll do it. I'll be realistic and say the truth, just like the Booner path.
Well, Booner, this is how it's going to go, okay? Because, listen, Michigan, they're not going to beat Texas. They're not going to beat Ohio State. And they're not going to beat Oregon. So who are they going to beat? Fresno State?
They don't play
Arkansas
Fresno, do they?
State? Like who? Michigan State? Who are their wins going to be? So
This is
I'll agree with you here.
haters. This is a
I'll agree
hater.
with hey, this is where
Can't
we're gonna
start it
break
off
up.
like that and then have a real
This
tank.
is where we'll
You
break
have to
bread.
be real.
I'm being real. They'll be a top 20 team, but there is 0.0 chance that they'll be in the college football playoffs this year. Zero.
That's wrong. That's where
I think-
was just.
I think when you look at the teams like
How can I just be
Clemson-
realistic with you and you can't do it for me?
Hold on, let him finish. Hold on, let.
I think when you look at the ACC, I think if Miami wins it, Clemson still has a very good chance of getting in. When you look at the SEC, I think you could have Ole Miss, Bama, and obviously Georgia in there. When you look at the Big Ten, I think you're going to have Ohio State, Oregon. And then when you look at that, they got to throw in I'm going to use exhibit like Liberty, Boise State, one of those big teams right there. That's
7.
your team. And then which conference am I forgetting?
You
Big
named them all.
12.
There's only
So I think you're gonna have Utah, you're gonna have Oklahoma State, like we said, and then when you look at it, it's gonna be between Michigan, probably like LSU. There's gonna be a lot of teams just floating in there, and then you gotta look at quality of wins, and Michigan's gonna have none. There's not gonna be one quality win that Michigan has.
Klotz.
Top 20 team, they'll be.
This is where me and you are going to butt heads on this show here.
Okay.
I went out on a limb. I could have been a Michigan slappy, and I could have been like, they're a lock. All they have to do is win one game, and they're a lock. They're going to be in the college football. No, I'm realistic. Maybe because you're an Ohio State fan, no offense, that you don't want to be realistic about Michigan. I'm going to be completely. I'm gonna get out of my comfort zone and be realistic when it comes to Michigan this year. I said it earlier today. I'm going to be realistic when it comes to Michigan. They are going to it's going to take a lot to get to the college football playoffs. They have one of the best defenses in the country, top 5. If that offense somehow just gets any cylinder going in one of those 3 games, they have a good chance of making the college football playoffs. If you like the college football playoffs, the 12 team, if you are a 2-loss team, you have a chance to get in.
But they're gonna
So
be
the
3.
0.0%, like you're saying there's 0% chance, that's not true. Because in Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, if that offense clicks at all with the defense they have, they just go out there and score a couple. Like they're going to have a chance to win one of those games. And if they pull out one of those games, it's not a 0% chance. Like if they pull one of those games out, now I'm sitting here telling you that they easily couldn't, and they could easily get 3 losses, and they're sitting on the outside at number 15 looking in going, man, what if we would have pulled one of those off?
What percent
But like,
would you give
Klotz,
them,
if I would give them like
I
a
just don't see-
20% chance, 25% chance.
Realistically,
But then,
like,
like, let's be
realistically, I
realistic.
just
We're gonna
don't-
have realistic conversations.
okay,
Don't
I'll
say
give them a 5%.
realistically. Don't say
5%,
realistically and
because
say
I don't-
0.0.
in my opinion, I do not see a path for them to beat Texas. Texas is probably the one they have the best chance against, in my opinion, because it's at home. I think Texas is probably the one they have the most chance against. Great defense. Texas has a great offense, and I think Michigan's offense is not going to be able to do much against Texas, especially that early on. Like, Sharon Moore is the biggest X factor here because he has to be built for that schedule. And I understand he had that win against Ohio State, but I'm sorry, that Ohio State team is much better now, and I just think their schedule, the consistency of it, like I'll hand them the win against USC. And I don't know if I should, but I think Michigan will handle USC because of their defense. Well, when you look at that, like, I don't see, like, their win will be USC, the quality win. I don't see a path. I don't see a path for them beating any of those three
This guy's
teams.
going to make me have to switch my take, and I'm going to say it's a lock. Like, and then I would
No,
just made me mad.
No, I just
Not
it's,
real
I
being
don't
realistic.
see them
They
at
play
all.
Oregon and Texas at home. They're going to have a chance to win one of those games, and with that defense they have, I'm about to
Oregon,
switch my
I don't.
take, and I'm about to say Michigan's going to destroy Ohio State this year, and I can't
That's
wait
fine.
till that week.
If
happens.
you believe that, that's fine.
I
but
tried to be realistic and come down to earth with you. Can't do it.
in my opinion, there is no chance for Michigan. Okay, if they lose two of those, or if they win one of those games, that's fine. I don't see that happening at all.